Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a few minutes, we have our influencer segment brought to you by Navé Travel, and we're featuring Ava Breeze, a young artist with a clear drive. She's a 16-year-old singer, actress, and influencer. Now, y'all know my disability awareness advocacy efforts, while Ava is also an advocate herself for children with special needs. Her campaign, Ava's Advocacy Army, is in honor of her sister, whose undiagnosed disease closely aligns with what they call Angelman's syndrome. Now, Angelman's syndrome is a genetic disorder causing delayed developmental problems with speech and balance, intellectual disability, and sometimes seizures. People with Angelman syndrome often smile and laugh frequently and have overly happy, excitable personalities. Today, she joins me in studio to chat career and disability awareness. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute delight to be here.
Absolutely. You are so special, and right here from the tri-state area. You are one of our featured guests that we actually featured last year. Very ambitious. Now, before we chat music, I know that you are a huge advocate for anti-bullying. What is the mission behind Ava's Advocacy Army?
So my little sister got bullied when I was little, and how are you going to bully someone that can't stand up for themselves at all? So my sister, she can't walk, she can't talk, she can't eat by herself. We have to do all of that for her. And just hearing the ignorance in all of those name callings and just not knowing any better, my mission is to teach people that, oh, just because someone's different, you could still play with them on the playground. Like, there's so much more to be said for people who can't do things for themselves, because they still have a personality. Like, I communicate with my sister every single day for what she wants to watch for TV, what she wants to eat. Like, there's ways that I can connect with someone, and so many people don't give others a chance. So Ava's Advocacy Army was really meant to give a chance for everyone and educate people on disabilities and rare disease, and I hope I'm really accomplishing my mission by sharing my story.
At 16 years old, you have accomplished so much. I'm so proud of you, and clearly it all starts from a good family. So you got to thank mom and dad for a great upbringing. Now, please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So I make my own original music. I came out with a bunch of singles this year, and I even made a remake of a hit 80s song. So I've really been rolling with music, and I really love this path of songwriting and really connecting with lyrics and putting it with beats and tracks and making something that I'm truly proud of.
You are incredible. Okay, so you're joined right now in studio by a special guest, singer, songwriter, and producer, Edwrds. Edwrds without the A. Now, you were born Jake E. Lee.
Yes, ma'am.
Edwrds without the A you were raised, of course, you give the name given to you, and I want to get to how the name came to be in just a bit, but you were raised in the suburbs of New York City, specifically Long Island. You got into music through years as a competitive dancer, often freestyling with friends backstage, interestingly enough. And back in 2017, you took on the moniker Edwrds without the A. Now, how did you meet Ava, and what brings you in studio today?
Yeah, so we have like this big group chat, and we noticed that we were all from New York and like the tri-state area. So we wanted to make a little, group chat, and from there, it's just been helping each other out.
Well, I'm glad you're here to support Ava. Ava, tell me about your new song, Who Are You, that's currently now streaming.
So Who Are You is a remake of my own original, not a remake, but a remix. So what I did when I made the original song, I thought it would translate really, really well in the trans space. So what I did is I partnered with a mixer, Dark Intensity, and we did that collab to make this remix of Who Are You. And just the beats and how it flows and the message of the song really asking that question, who are you? Who are you at the end of the day? In that space, it comes across really cool, really melodic. The beats mix and mesh with each other, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
You know, the first thought that came to my mind when I heard it was Evanescence. You have this this ethereal sound to your voice. It's great. Now, how did you get started in the entertainment and music industry?
So I started when I was really, really, really little. I remember I looked up at the TV one day and I was just like, I want to be one of them. And my mom was just like, oh no, your talent's going to be very expensive. So I ended up getting a manager and I started off with acting and I didn't realize I could switch over to music, but I ended up doing that at the beginning of COVID because I was missing a creative outlet, and I've always been called the songbird in my household. I've always loved to sing, I've always loved to make music, but I never thought to write anything down. So that time period gave me an opportunity to write down the lyrics that I was just playing over and over in my head, and then I was just like, wait, there's something here. Like, I love listening to music and playing with music and discovering new artists. I could do this. Like, I could be an artist. So that's when my first original single, Girls of Summer, was made. And after I played around with the process, I saw what it was like to put lyrics to a backing track, connect with other mixers and producers. I fell in love with this part of the industry, and I never looked back. And here I am with almost an album out.
Here you are. Now, you both write, and that's a fantastic story. I mean, it was for barely 17 years old. You've accomplished a ton. Now, both
cool.
Ava and Edwrds, you write and produce your own music. Where do you draw your inspiration for a song, and how does it come together? Edwrds, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so for me, I like to take it from all the feelings of life. I feel like often as people, we don't want to dive into our darker emotions, the sadness, the depression of it. But being an advocate for mental health, I like to remind people without the darkness, we would never know how beautiful the happy moments can be. So, I like to pull a lot from there, as well as, just the people who've inspired me in my life, from the artists I look up to and my family and friends, and just living. So that's me. What about you?
I have a very similar response. So I draw my music from everything around me. I'm having a sunny day. I'm going to write something about it. It might not be a full song, but it'll be a group of lyrics that I could put into other songs. If I'm having a really bad day where I'm really into myself, I'm going to write about that, and I'm going to tell a story about what it felt like in that moment to show other people that it's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
you're
awesome.
you're living your true self. You're living in the moment, and you're writing about it, which is incredible because that makes you emotionally available, and then you can relate, and you can take your emotions, turn them into words, and then turn the negative into a
Absolutely.
positive. So I think it's incredible.
Yeah, I feel
Now,
like as artists, like we really, when we get to write music, it helps us be more self-expression. You can communicate better with others and yourself and know
for
what's going on
sure,
in your
it's
mind.
completely healing.
It is.
That's why even if you go to therapy, they tell you to get a journal and write your
Yeah,
thoughts down in a book.
it really be therapy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So music is therapy. Now,
Mhm.
what are your goals and where do you hope to see your career take you? Ava, we'll start with you.
So my goals, obviously, my favorite part about being an artist is definitely performing on stage because I feel like I'm sharing such an intimate part of myself with an audience. Like, so the part that I'm looking forward to the most is definitely being able to connect with people and share that vulnerability with an audience. And I want to learn their stories too. Like, I want to learn what my audience likes about my music so it can inspire me to make more. Like, I
That's right.
truly want to create a space where everyone is family and everyone just comes from such a place of love. And if I ever get there, and if my ultimate dream is to have my audience sing back with me, I really want to develop that connection with them. And if I ever get to the point where that happens, I will be the happiest artist in the world, let me tell you.
Well, that's
Beautiful.
great that you long for that connectivity. Edwards, what about you? What are your goals and where do you see your career take you?
Yeah, it's been a big thought of mine. I recently turned 21, so that was a very
Ooh, that's a
into
big
the next
that's a
chapter.
big birthday.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, I've been touring for the last like 5, 6 years, and I've wanted to experiment, showing people new songs, new dances since I dance. But I've been really goal wise looking forward to how do I give people an Edwrds experience. Like we're finally getting into the part of my career where we got the big stage lights and the smoke, and I'm now playing guitar and incorporating live instruments into my set. So being a one-man band, it's like, how do I give my fans, the coolest experience they can and the most authentic
I see.
So
Well,
yeah.
you are doing a great job at keeping it together, especially
you.
performing and, of course, networking. And we know that that's what it's all about. Now, Ava, you live in New Jersey. You're in the city often, always networking and working really hard. Are you currently in school?
Yes, I'm homeschooled. That's what makes a lot of this possible. Because I have to run on my own schedule. Like during the week, I could have no events, and that's a school week where I'm really I could work from 7 o'clock in the morning to like 10 a.m. at night to make sure I'm on a good solid foundation. And then other weeks, it could be New York Fashion Week, and I can't work at school for that entire week. So it's really allowed me to do so much more with my career and advance myself to where I want to be than if I was in a traditional school. And I'm still getting a solid education. Like I'm still in honors classes. I'm still maintaining my good grades.
Wow.
So school is
You
very
are
important
quite
to me.
impressive because let me tell you, you are your own manager, you're your own PR agent, you're your own everything. You've reached out to us, and this is a pretty big show, individually, directly to me. There's no booking agents involved. She's like, when am I coming? I'm like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah.
And as a mom who has a 7-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 21-year-old that I've raised since they were little peas, I can totally appreciate the efforts that you put into networking in your career. So I said, of course you could come down to iHeart Studios. So that concludes our interview. I want to thank you so much for both coming on. Ava, you are a breath of fresh air. Edwrds, thank you so much for coming out and supporting your friend.
Yeah,
And you guys
of
were
course.
incredible.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
It was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Guys, definitely check them out. That was our influencer segment brought to you by Navé Travel. That was the amazing Ava Breeze. Definitely check her out on the gram at Ava Breeze _. And definitely do check out the incredible Edwrds at Edwrds Aspect. But of course, Edwrds without the A. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Navé, a members-only travel portal exclusively available through Organo, offering members steep discounts on nightly or weekly hotel stays, cruises, auto rentals, excursions, and so much more. With its travel getaway portal, Navé makes the days of surfing multiple travel sites and spending hours evaluating the best deals done with. That's because with Navé, you are guaranteed the best prices. Plus, to gain access to an even more expansive collection of condos, hotels, cruises, vacation villas, fantasy getaways, and concierge service, there's Forever Weeks. Simply purchase a Navé Forever Weeks package one time and enjoy the benefits many times. With Forever Weeks, forever means forever. Not only does Navé guarantee you the best prices, but it is also one of the few travel portals that pays a referral bonus, in addition to you earning rewards points, which can be redeemed on the Travel Getaway portal for further discounted hotel room rates. Become a member today and navigate the world of travel. Navé, the world for you to experience. For more information, go to navé.travel. That's Navé, Nave.travel.